first seat, we have Dylan on blue farm. This deck aims to get to lane game by controlling the board and politicking like none other. He keeps an opening hand with Ranger Captain of Eos, Inspiring Industry, Mystical Tutor, Rhystic Menorah, Arid Mesa, Mana Confluence, and a Soul Ring. In second, we have John, also on blue farm. He keeps a hand with Swan Song, Forbidden Orchard, Elvish Spirit Guide, Orcish Bowmasters, Mr. Grimoire, and Imperial Seal. Then in third, we have Jarek, and he is on the cool new commander, Aang at the Crossroads. This deck aims to get some kind of ETB doubler like Roaming Throne or Preston. Then it wants to cast or flicker Aang so that it can repeatedly hit clones from the top of its library until it finally wins with some kind of infinite loop using Food Chain or infinite take the initiatives, which drains its opponents to lethal. His opening hand contains a Ethan's Flux, Gemstone Caverns, Utopia Sprawl, Survival of the Fittest, Ancient Tomb, and Pact of Negation. Then in fourth, we have Max on Firelord Azula. The easiest way to win with this deck is cast Azula, then cast Tainted Pact, which gets copied during combat. One Tainted Pact clears the library, the second Tainted Pact grabs Thassa's Oracle. Then, during your second main phase, you cast Thassa's Oracle to win the game. Max's opening hand contains a Surveil land, a Fetch land, an extra turn or you lose the game, a Necro Dominance, a Volcanic Island, a Lotus Petal, and a Gemstone Caverns. Before Dylan starts the game off, both Jarek and Max have a pregame. Jarek puts a Gemstone Cavern and pitches Survival of the Fittest. Max puts a Gemstone Caverns and pitches a land. Dylan loses a life to Mana of Confluence and plays a Mystic Remora. John also plays a land and casts his own Mystic Remora. He does not pay for Dylan's Mystic Remora. Jarek plays a Fetch land and cracks it for something that can tap for green. He uses that green to cast Utopia Sprawl, both Mystic Remora's triggers, and he doesn't pay for either of them. Max plays a Fetch land, and then he casts a Talisman. He does not pay for either of the fishes. Max then passes the turn. Dylan pays for his fish, plays a land, and casts Soul Ring. He does not pay for John's fish trigger. Dylan then passes the turn. John also pays for his fish and plays a land. John then casts Imperial Seal and does not pay for Dylan's fish. John then passes the turn. Jarek untaps and plays an Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He takes 2 damage and casts Roaming Throne. Jarek then passes the turn. Max plays a land for turn and taps 4 to cast his commander Azula. Max then passes it to Dylan. Dylan untaps and uses a Soul Ring to pay for his Mystic Remora. Dylan plays a land for turn and uses it to cast Dark Ritual. He then uses his Dark Ritual and a couple more lands to cast his commander, Crom. Since Crom has haste, he moves to combat and hits John for 4. John takes it and Dylan passes the turn. John untaps and lets his fish go. He plays a land for turn and casts Rhystic Study. Dylan draws off his Mystic Remora and John passes the turn. Jarek untaps and casts his commander Aang. This triggers Rhystic Study and John draws a card. Aang then resolves and Roaming Throne triggers as Jarek has 2 Aang enter the battlefield abilities. From Jarek's first Aang, he gets a clone. The clone enters the battlefield as another Aang. It immediately dies to the legend rule, but he gets another Aang ETB and another Aang ETB from Roaming Throne. From his next Aang ETB, he gets Faldar Guardian. Faldar Guardian flickers Aang, and he gets another 2 Aang triggers from the Faldar Guardian and Roaming Throne. From his next flip, he gets Icewind Stalwart. This again flickers Aang, getting him another ETB and another trigger with Roaming Throne, getting him yet another ETB. This one fortunately doesn't get him another flicker, and instead just gets him a Washitong Librarian. Jarek seems to then be slowing down as his next Aang flip fizzles. Jarek certainly isn't out of steam, as his next flip gets him a Phyrexian Metamorph, which goes straight to the graveyard but gets him 2 ETBs. Jarek's next Aang flip gets him a Jawari Shapeshifter, getting him yet another Aang ETB and another Roaming Throne, which in turn gets him yet another Aang ETB. Jarek's next flip is a whiff, but the one after that gets him a Clever Impersonator. giving him 2 more Aang ETBs. His next flip after that gets him Preston the Vanisher. This doesn't flicker Aang itself, but it means he will get 3 Aang ETBs on all future clones. Jarek's next flip hits a flesh duplicate. This enters the battlefield as Aang. Roaming Throne triggers and he gets another Aang ETB, and Preston sees Aang enter the battlefield, which makes a 0-1 token of Aang, which dies to the legend rule, but still makes another Aang ETB. Jarek then flips over a phantasmal image. This gets him another whole bunch of triggers, and I'm just going to shortcut in editing the explanation here. Jarek resolves the Aang triggers until he has Felidar Guardian and Preston the Vanisher on the battlefield. He then flickers Felidar Guardian. When Felidar Guardian enters the battlefield, Preston the Vanisher makes a copy of the Felidar Guardian. The copy of the Felidar Guardian flickers the OG, and the OG flickers Aang. Jarek does this an infinite number of times, and Aang gets all the creatures out of Jarek's library, including the White Plume Adventurer. Jarek then stops flickering Aang with the Felidar Guardian, and starts flickering his White Plume Adventurer instead. When White Plume Adventurer enters the battlefield, Jarek takes the initiative, and for every 5 times Jarek takes the initiative, he can drain an opponent for 5 life. Jarek does this until all of his opponents are dead. What a freaking sweet win. It's only turn 4, and John actually had 3 pieces of interaction in his hand. However, since Jarek only cast his commander, and that was the only spell he cast that entire turn, nobody was able to do anything. So, I hope to see more of this deck, and thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you didn't, leave it a thumbs down. If you did like it though, leave it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. We're at 194 subscribers, so 6 more till we hit 200. Let's get that by the end of this video. Thanks again for watching. If you want to watch more, check out any of these playlists or my most recent video here. See you later.